She and I have just met. She goes, first time kind of half-hearted, it was in college, not particularly serious. She said the second time, far more serious. She goes, I not only graduated college, I had graduated medical school, I was a doctor. I had the knowledge, I had the equipment, I had an IV started in my ankle. I had the suicide cocktail in my left hand, the 2 vials. In my right hand, I had the syringe, getting ready to load it up. And she says, the phone rings. And I'm thinking to myself, do I answer it? Well, she said, you know, I was afraid it was somebody who would worry. They would come over, they would interrupt. So I picked up the phone. She goes, turns out it's my 13-and-a-half-year-old son. And she said, you know, I don't know if he heard something in the way I said hello, or he had a premonition, but the first thing he said to me was, Mom, don't do anything. She said, I didn't. I didn't give up on the idea of suicide, but I decided not to do it that day because I was afraid, she said, he would realize that it had happened right after we spoke and he would feel guilty, that maybe he could have said something that would have stopped me from committing suicide. So I said to her, well, how old is he now? She goes, he's 21. I said, does he know that he stopped your suicide? She goes, oh, no. I said, no. She goes, no. How do you start that conversation? How indeed? I'm thinking TED Talk. Which, by the way, raises the question. A comedian talking about depression and suicide? How exactly are you qualified? No, I'll tell you, I believe a comedian is a good choice, and I'll tell you why. Because a comedian's job, if you drill down to it, is to speak truth to power on behalf of the powerless. And in this case, I'm speaking truth to the power of depression on behalf of the powerless, those who are caught in its grip. Number 2, I believe that depression is at its core hopelessness. And with humor, there's hope. With laughter, there's life, and that nobody dies laughing. And 3, I myself suffer from depression. I have thought about killing myself more times than I can count. This is the way the world sees me. And this, with apologies to the Showtime series Dexter, is my dark passenger. This guy has tried to kill me for as long as I can remember. Came very close in 2010. It was the heart of the recession. My corporate speaking business dropped off 80%. My wife and I declared Chapter 7 bankruptcy. We lost everything that we had worked for 25 years. And I had an itch on the roof of my mouth that I could only scratch with the front sight on my nickel-plated .38.